Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
So guys, I want to start this video off by showing you my personal favorite highlights, what I loved that Judge Netburn said in this most recent ruling. Then we're going to move into what the lawyers had to say, break down how they analyze this ruling, and finish it off with both party strategies going forward. This, no doubt, was a huge win for Ripple and their biggest one yet, but there is no doubt the SEC is going to try to fight it tooth and nail. I'm going to show you what I think they will try to pull going forward. You guys are not going to want to miss that. Let's start this thing off though, and I want to show you guys the first thing that really stood out to me when I saw this ruling, and Judge Netburn completely attacked the SEC for even filing this reconsideration of her other ruling. I said, oh my god, this was a beatdown by Judge Netburn. She says, nor are motions for reconsideration a vehicle for relitigating old issues, presenting the case under new theories, or otherwise taking a second bite of the apple. Wow, I could not believe how strongly this was worded when I first read it. Not only is Judge Netburn attacking the SEC for trying to question her earlier ruling, but she then goes on to say that it seems like the SEC is simply speculating on the future direction they are trying to take this case. When I first read this, I knew that Judge Netburn was calling out the SEC for making it up as it goes and being woefully unprepared to litigate this case. Now, Judge Netburn later builds upon this by saying that the SEC cannot change its argument simply because it disagrees with the court's conclusion. This is a huge statement by Judge Netburn and calls out something we have been calling out the SEC for a very long time. The SEC is acting completely transactional in this case. They're arguing each issue as it is brought to them, completely disregarding whether the facts they are presenting contradicts previous facts they have brought to this case. Judge Netburn is telling the SEC that she has had enough of this, and the SEC cannot simply change its arguments every single time a court ruling doesn't go its way. I also believe she is telling the SEC that she is not buying this argument at all, because the SEC is willing to say anything to win any independent argument, regardless whether the facts or evidence is there. Now, Ashley Prosper also pointed out something very interesting in this ruling, which was the fact that Judge Netburn once again goes on to say Hinman's declaration nevertheless confirmed under oath what the disclaimer made clear, that the speech was intended to and did reflect his personal views. This is a very interesting statement because Judge Netburn says to the SEC, I am not having it. You said this was Bill Hinman's personal opinion. Bill Hinman said under oath this was his personal opinion, and the disclaimers on the SEC's website all say that any statements made by SEC officials are personal opinions. You can now not go back and try to change all of these facts simply because you did not get the ruling you wanted. The SEC presented the facts to the court, they didn't like the outcome, and Judge Netburn is calling them out on it and bringing up the evidence straight to their face. This is no doubt a smack to the SEC, and Judge Netburn went out of her way to point out the SEC's failure to properly litigate this case. Now, John Deaton put out an excellent tweet thread regarding this. He covered some information we've already covered in this video. I'm going to show you guys the part he hits on that we haven't talked about, but most importantly, John Deaton loved this ruling. If John Deaton loved this ruling, I think we should too. He did a few observations. I was wrong before when I said there was only 52 drafts of the Hinman speech. The judge writes as evidenced by 68 drafts. 68 drafts is with a lot of commentary. There is a strong chance XRP is mentioned. This is huge, and I'll show you later why that's the case. He also goes on to say that Judge Netburn went out of her way to make this decision bulletproof to any appeal by the Second Circuit. He said that he loved this, and rather than Judge Netburn simply denying the SEC's SEC's motion, she analyzed it, and then gave her reasoning why she is rejecting the SEC's attempt to make her reconsider DPP. He said this is huge because it essentially makes it unappealable to any circuit, including Judge Torres or a higher level court. He says this was a brilliant move by Judge Netburn. He also calls out the SECs for inconsistencies related to their positions. We talked about this earlier, but did go on to say that Judge Netburn did throw the SEC a bone by allowing them to make redactions on Hinman's emails. Now, he does go on to say that he does believe this makes the ruling even more unappealable to a Second Circuit, so he sees it as a good thing. I'm going to show you some lawyers who have concerns about this, but what's important to know is that John Deaton does like that she was very specific and gave examples of what redactions the SEC was allowed, so he believes this will help keep the SEC in line and prevent them from just blacking out all the emails like we've seen them do in the past. And last of all, John Deaton finishes this thing off by saying if XRP was referenced in the 68 drafts or in the commentary, Ripple gets the win and XRP wins. This is huge, and I'm going to show you guys later in this video exactly when John Deaton believes this thing will end, how it will end, and what he expects going forward. That's what I believe is the most important part we need to be watching now. Now, I do want to quickly point out that John Deaton did not seem very worried about the SEC's redactions because he believed Judge Netburn was very specific in what the SEC was allowed to redact. On the other hand, though, I did see Jeremy Hogan and Attorney Bill point out that they were concerned that the SEC would try to go above and beyond with their redactions to try to cover up any potential smoking gun contained in these emails. Now, there is a positive, though, that Bill does point out. He says that if the SEC does seek any redactions, then the judge will likely go over them in camera review. This means that even if Ripple doesn't get to see the smoking gun, the judge will, and this would likely make the SEC extremely hesitant to go to summary judgment, because if the judge has seen the smoking gun, then the SEC is going to understand that they will surely lose in summary judgment, and we have talked about how catastrophic this could be for them losing power over the rest of the crypto industry. Therefore, I believe that even if the documents are heavily redacted, it does still set us up very good for a potential settlement in the near future. Now, the only other major concern I have seen out there would be if the SEC did try to appeal this to Judge Torres and then further appeal it to the second court. Now, I've seen conflicting opinions on this so far, but I believe the consensus is that these would be very unsuccessful appeals, and the only reason the SEC would do it would be to further delay this case. Now, the judges obviously wouldn't like this, and this would set them up even more poorly than they already are for summary judgment, so that's very important to take into consideration. Now, on the other hand, they might do this simply to delay some more and try to bring Ripple to the table to settle this case, but Ashley Prosper points out that either way, this doesn't change the summary judgment schedule, and that is very important because time is now ticking for the SEC, and they are in very rough shape if this thing ends up in the court's hands at summary judgment. So you're probably thinking now, Mikkel, what comes next? What are we looking for now? Well, there's a whole bunch of different predictions out there I've seen, but I think we need to go with the XRP Heroes prediction. That would be John Deaton's. He has done more for the XRP holder than anyone, and we all owe him such a huge thank you. John Deaton told Eleanor Terriot, he tells that the SEC Gov is very unlikely to turn over the documents ordered by Judge Netburn and believes a settlement should take place within 90 days of Judge Torres affirming Netburn's decision. The SEC now has 14 days to file any objection decisions to Judge Torres. So in the next 14 days, we will likely find out whether the SEC will go for one last delay. And if they don't, well then it looks like the settlement talks have started. And what did Brad Garlinghouse tell us? He told us that there is no settlement without certain clarity for XRP in the US market. That is a status no other cryptocurrency has and will be absolutely explosive for the price of XRP.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.